lives on their own, lives their whole life. Nobody has preached the gospel to them. They die. Do they have salvation and do they get into heaven?
See, God knows who's going to believe and who doesn't. And in Acts 17, Paul says that God has appointed the times and places where people should live so that some would reach out to him and find him, though he's not far from any one of us. In other words, it seems to say that God has oriented the world in such a way that those who hear the gospel, some of them will believe. It could be that people who never hear the gospel wouldn't have believed it anyway, right?
Right.
We know that there are people out there who hear the gospel and don't believe it, right? But it could be that those who never heard it wouldn't have believed it anyway. But there is nobody out there who's never heard that God exists. Everybody knows God exists by his effects, as we said before. If there's a creation, there's got to be a creator. If there's a moral law, there's got to be a moral lawgiver.
Right.
Even the moral law that Matthew was talking about before, he has a moral law in his heart. Where does that moral law come from? If there is no God, it's just a socio-biological feeling. It's not really true.
Right.
All right? But if God does exist, and we really believe that there are these rights and wrongs, we reason back to a moral lawgiver, okay? So everybody knows there's a God, but not everybody knows about Jesus.
Right.
We know that people in the Old Testament could have been saved without Jesus, not without his sacrifice, without knowing him. The Bible seems to indicate you have to know the name in order to be saved, so what do? We're obedient, and we risk all to get people the gospel because we know that does save people, that if they know the gospel and accept it, they are saved.
Right.
But at the end of the day, since God is just, nobody in the afterlife is going to be treated unjustly. Either people are going to get justice or they're going to get grace. There's nobody who's going to say, God, if I had only known, God, you blew it, you didn't give me. Not going to happen.